Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Michael Branch bringing this to us this afternoon. Most of the responses to the Biden executive order on cryptocurrency are coming right after Labor Day, guys. So it's going to be next week. Labor Day weekend is, this coming weekend. Today is Monday, August the 29th. And so it's looking as though this is when these government officials are back in office. Per the March 9th order, 7 reports from agencies are due to the White House 120 days after the release of the order, putting the deadline at September 5th, the day after the Labor Day weekend. Labor Day is a U.S. federal holiday. The executive order emphasizes the need for interagency cooperation, but the orders and their spearheading agencies break down as follows. And so here's just a breakdown of what they will consist of. So we've got it here. The Treasury, a report on central bank digital currencies, which is a contentious topic to say the least. I'm going to talk a little bit later in this video about central bank digital currencies and some alternative opinions from some high-up members over there at the Fed, the U.S. Federal Reserve. Another point here, the Office of Science and Technology, a technical analysis of the difficulty and likelihood of implementing CBDCs. So again, on the same lines as CBDCs, the Justice Department, a legal assessment of whether Congress needs to put out new law in order to issue a CBDC. Continuing on here, the Treasury and the major markets and consumer protections regulators, a report on the risks and rewards of digital assets in markets and payments. Office of Science and Technology Policy, a report on crypto's role in energy transition across time spans. So that's going to be interesting, obviously touching on proof of work versus other types of cryptocurrencies. The Justice Department, with the help of the Treasury and the Department of Homeland Security, the role of law enforcement agencies in detecting, investigating, and prosecuting criminal activity related to digital assets. So, of course, there's the fraud/crime aspect to this. And then there's Commerce Department, a framework for enhancing United States economic competitiveness in and leveraging of digital asset technologies. This is obviously the most critical one, I think, at this moment of time, the most time-sensitive point, yet they put it here right at the end of the list. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. I wanted to thank Michael just for pointing that out. Another one, guys, from Michael Branch here. So this has to do with Tether, and every now and then Tether pops up in the news. Wall Street Journal's Jean Eaglesham and Vicky G. Huang suggested that such a thin cushion of equity could cause mayhem in the market if Tether's liabilities were to outweigh its assets, basically insinuating that Tether is hanging on by a thread. Okay, apparently they have done some forensics here. An article in the Wall Street Journal has claimed that Tether's balance sheet is in a position that even a 0.3% drop in value in its reserves could render Tether technically insolvent. Now we got to remember, Tether is a big player. The number one stable coin by market cap, okay? The market cap is $67.5 billion. Overshadows USDC coin at $52.1 billion. So it is the number one stable coin. It is what a lot of liquidity goes through. And early on in the earlier days, I guess, of cryptocurrency, a lot of us would utilize Tether as that stable coin in order to secure profits because we knew it was pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And it was a way to secure profits, take them off the table, and there was no real talk about whether these stablecoins were registered or anything like that. That wasn't really a topic of discussion. All we knew was that, we can have our profits, secure them in these certain types of stablecoins. But now, it's very different, right? USDC, this is the stablecoin that the US government and other governmental agencies and financial institutions are using as the standard. It has gone through, rigorous tests and whatever else in order to classify it as kind of good to go. It's now becoming, I think, the gold standard, and people are now questioning Tether's legitimacy. So again, I don't know. This could be FUD. I mean, I don't know who's got a vested interest in seeing Tether collapse, but this also could be true. Take it for what it's worth. Eaglesham and Huang suggested that such a thin cushion of equity could cause mayhem in the market. So we went over that and said that, a 0.3% fall in assets could render Tether technically insolvent. At the time of the writing, Tether has $67.74 billion worth of assets and $67.54 billion worth of liabilities, marking the difference of just $191 million, according to Tether's website. Tether Chief Technical Officer Paolo Ordoino has, however, played down the severity of Tether's tight margins, telling the publication that he expects its capital to grow significantly over the next few months adding, I don't think we are the systemic risk in the crypto system. So he's sounding confident that Tether has a leg to stand on. So I don't know, his word against the Wall Street Journal. Could this be another FUD campaign to obliterate those stable coins that don't have the regulatory clarity and that aren't vetted by the US government, for example? Again, not suggesting it is, just bringing you guys the latest news here. Wanted to thank Michael Branch just for posting that. Now, on the same lines of stablecoins and CBDCs, you gotta ask yourself, when a representative from the Federal Reserve has come out and said this, it's gotta make you go, guys, this is Neil Kashkari, okay? And just to give you guys a bit of a background on him, he's an American banker, economist, and politician who is the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. As interim assistant secretary to the Treasury of Financial Stability from October 2008 to May 2009, he oversaw the Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP, that was a major component of the U.S. government's response to the financial crisis in 2007-2008. So this guy has credibility. A Republican, he unsuccessfully ran for governor of California in the 2014 election. And then just down here, just continues on with some of his background. But to this point here, currently the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis. And in this clip, he's very critical of central bank digital currencies. Listen to what he says here.
I'm pretty skeptical. I keep asking anybody at the Fed or outside of the Fed to explain to me what problem this is solving. I can send anybody in this room $5 with Venmo right now. Right? No, seriously. So what is it that a CBDC could do that Venmo can't do? And all I get is a bunch of hand waving. I get a bunch, well, maybe it's better for financial inclusion. Maybe it's better for cross-border remittances. Maybe. Is there any evidence that it is? And, they say, well, what about China? China's doing it. Well, I can see why China would do it. If they want to monitor every one of your transactions, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. If you want to impose negative interest rates, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. And if you want to directly tax customer accounts, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. So I get why China would be interested. Why would the American people be for that?
Boom! Neil Kashkari sounds like a man in our corner. Why would we need a CBDC in the United States of America, or, in the Western world for that matter? China's got their reasons why they're doing it, obviously for more control, imposing negative interest rates, use that as one example, being able to surveil their citizens, adding more measures of control over your finances, and essentially, we want less intervention by government. So, a representative of the Federal Reserve now calling out central bank digital currencies. So this, again, was posted by Nick Anthony here. All eyes are on Jackson Hole, but the real statement of the summer came from Neil Kashkari. I keep asking anybody to explain to me why in the hell would we need CBDCs? I may not always agree with Kashkari, but he is absolutely correct when he points out that he can send anyone money with Venmo. You don't need a CBDC to do that. Not only that, guys, XRP, and this is the thing, guys, the Fed, his organization, they are already implementing RippleNet technology through Volente. So they understand the benefits of XRP, how that can be utilized for cross-border payments, and he uses cross-border payments as one of the examples here. So, you can utilize XRP, you can leverage that liquidity. You don't need a CBDC to do that. You can do it from fiat to fiat. You can do it from gold to crypto. You can do it from anywhere to anywhere, basically. And you can get rid of the redundancy of a central bank digital currency. So interesting to see Neil Kashkari kind of pushing back on the government's idea that we need a central bank digital currency. So I wonder if I really do wonder how far along we're going to get with this CBDC issue come Labor Day or after Labor Day. Want to keep moving, guys. Bill here at Belisarius bringing this up. The fact Grayscale has received a communication from the SEC's Corporate Finance and Enforcement Division and either feel the need to reply or are required to reply indicates there is active consideration by that division that offerings or sales of XLM are an investment contract. Now, you remember a few days ago I talked a little bit about Grayscale lashing back and, really kind of almost seemed like they were scrambling to differentiate XLM from XRP, even if they weren't really correct in their classification. Well, Bill is suggesting that maybe the SEC is looking closer at Stellar and looking to sue Stellar and XLM. He says, I don't know whether any legal action against Stellar is close or not, and did not offer such an opinion. There may not even be a formal investigation. So he posted this a few hours ago. The other thing, though, that he posted was this, which I thought was interesting, because we know the history with MoneyGram and XRP and Ripple and Stellar and XLM. He writes, yes, poor MoneyGram, did they wrong the SEC in another life? First, the SEC stood back while they did a deal with Ripple to use XRP, and sued Ripple, and then stood back while they did a deal with Stellar to use XLM, and now Stellar XLM is in the SEC's sights. And why he says that is down here. So TSU, he asked this question, is Stellar in the SEC sights though? It may well be. I don't think anyone can say that with certainty. I mean, we don't have any official confirmation that they are. However, I don't think speculative conclusions drawn from an article from a CoinDesk reporter are a reliable basis for asserting that XLM is now in the SEC sites. And so Bill just responded, I checked the preliminary source referred in the article. The filing on August 16th, highlighted in yellow, is what the article refers to. In the wider context of the extract, you would say it is uncertain. Grayscale's lawyers and the SEC's CorpFin may disagree, though, on XLM's status. And so here's what he found here. The sponsor has been contacted by the staff from the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance and Enforcement concerning the sponsor's securities law analysis of XLM. The sponsor is in the process of responding to the SEC staff. In light of these uncertainties and the fact-based nature of the analysis, the sponsor acknowledges that XLM may currently be a security based on the facts as they exist today. So it doesn't sound like they have proof or hard evidence or any kind of foundation to bring XLM into court yet, but they are agreeing that, it could be, based on the facts that exist today, it could be that XLM is indeed a security along the same lines of what they were saying about Ripple back in 2020. So could this be another lawsuit? I mean, I don't know. Is the SEC focusing on the exchanges, or are they going to still go after certain cryptocurrencies? And it would be interesting to see which cryptocurrencies they choose. Would you be surprised if they went after a cryptocurrency that was similar to XRP or any World Economic Forum cryptocurrencies for that matter? Things that make you go, Which brings me to this, guys, from XRP Yoda here on Twitter. Didn't think of this. LBRY, the gavel will lean on the library. Do you remember the old Christmas riddle? I believe it was from a few years ago now, where we saw the gavel leaning on the library, guys. I'll bring it up for you here. I believe this was from Christmas of 2019. We got the Bearableguy riddle here, gavel leaning on the library. And, fast forward to 2021, 2022. And that gavel has now turned into the Triskelion gavel. So a few things have changed now. First, let me go into some of this. So we've got the gavel here leaning on the library. And we know that LBRY is also in a lawsuit with the SEC. How the resolution of LBRY versus the SEC case can impact the ongoing case against Ripple. Now, I'm going to leave this article in the description. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. I've talked a little bit about this case over the last several months with regards to LBRY. But I think what it boils down to is we're going to see a resolution in the LBRY case before we see a resolution in the Ripple XRP case. So what are some of those implications? It states it down here in this article. The LBRY court recently denied a request by the SEC to extend the trial date by about a month. This means that unless there are additional scheduling changes, the LBRY case will be decided before the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple Labs for failing to register their offer and sale of XRP. This is significant because the court's findings in the LBRY case could be cited in the Ripple case. So, could it be that the SEC was planning this all along and to, coordinate this, schedule this, so that this would indeed happen in this way? In fact, the SEC tried to include a ruling in the LBRY case as precedent against Ripple Labs in the Ripple case. So they've already tried to use this tactic against Ripple and their lawyers. And I mean, I know Ripple probably had an inclination that they were going to get sued before the official announcement was made. Could it have been the same with LBRY? And could Bearableguy have had some insider information regarding this? Now, the gavel, a legal gavel, has now changed to a Triskelion gavel-type hammer, leaning on the LBRY now. And for those of you guys who might not know, the Treskel or Triskelion or triple spiral is said to be the oldest symbol of spirituality. Its name comes from Greek word tri or skelos, which means 3 legs. The spiral is said to be of important spiritual marking that dates back to ancient origins in Irish culture and other cultures as well. Made up of 3 joining spirals, the ancient Irish believed that everything happens in batches of 3s, or the 3rd time's a charm, a belief that still exists today. All things that make you go, Bearableguy123? And I don't know if you remember this, Christine Lagarde also sporting the Triskelion, and the Ripple logo mark also considered to be a Triskelion. Historically, the Triskelion is a motif consisting of 3 interlocking spirals. In ancient art around the world, the Triskelion suggests rotational symmetry, movement, and perpetuity. Well, the XRP ledger, continuously in movement, will be the new foundation of a financial system, sending money from point A to point B in perpetuity, but we do need legal clarity. And was LBRY a hidden clue all along? Since we are going to get a verdict in the LBRY case, is this ultimately going to affect what happens in the Ripple case? All things that make me go, That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.